2nd of February, 10 o'clock, and you're listening to Inspire FM 105.1 FM. I'm Shemiza, taking you all the way up to 11 o'clock this morning on the Urban Kube Show. Now, the Urban Kube Show is a show that celebrates arts and lifestyle with trailblazing Muslims that are local, national, and international. The show is all about having great conversations to inspire, motivate, and get you aware of some of the amazing creativity that my guests, whom are trailblazers, are presently doing, are involved in. As always, we are going out to the wonderful people, Luton surrounding areas, Peterborough Salam Radio and Sheffield Link FM. Now, if you would like to join us on this show and to ask any questions with our guests, please feel free to do so on 07779481822. Now, we are also Facebook Live, so you'll get a chance to see our guest and leave any questions on Facebook as well. So our guest today is a very, very notable creative and who recently has been awarded an MBE for services in drama. And it's an absolute pleasure to have them join us on the show today to share with us some of the amazing projects that they have been involved in, which spans across playwriting, screenwriting, and theatre, television, film, and radio. They have been a guest on the show on a number of occasions in the past, so it's an absolute pleasure to have them join me this morning. They are joining me. It would be interesting to find out where they're actually joining me from, whether they're going to be in the south or the north, because their work does span across the whole of the country. But before I invite them on, let's find out a little bit more about who they are. This morning, I'm absolutely delighted to be joined by Ishy Din. He's a playwright and screenwriter whose work spans theatre, television, film and radio. He's under commission to the Royal Shakespeare Company and Kiln Theatre. He's an associate playwright at the Royal Court Theatre and is currently adapting his play Champion for BBC Radio 4. His theatre work includes Approaching Empty, with Wipers, and Snookered, which won Best New Play at the Manchester Theatre Awards. His television credits include Ackley Bridge, Shakespeare and Hathaway, Phoenix Park, and Atomic Bazaar. His work is widely recognized for its authenticity and commitment to amplifying underrepresented voices. So without further ado, it's an absolute pleasure to have no other than the wonderful Ishy Din MBE joining us on Inspire FM this morning. Assalamu alaikum, Ishy.
Wa alaikum salam, Shemiza. How are you? I'm a bit blown away with such a fantastic introduction. I'm all coy now, and shucks, that's very nice.
Oh, bless you. Know, totally. Thank you so much. It's totally deserved. You have a legacy of work, and what's so beautiful is the authenticity in your creativity. You haven't forgotten who you are. You're a northern lad through and through, as everybody can hear from the wonderful accent. Ishy, this morning, where are we speaking to you from?
I'm at home in Middlesbrough, Shemiza. So just Monday morning, beginning of the week. So at home in Middlesbrough. Which is always nice to wake up in your own bed.
Fabulous. And you have been out of the country. I was following you on social media. Where have you come back from?
So I've just got back from Pakistan and Azad Kashmir. So I was there for 6 weeks. What an amazing experience that was. Really enjoyed the country and got a chance to relax and just soak up the rays and enjoy the incredible food. So it's brilliant. It feels weird to be back, although I've been back a while now, but still I think it's taken a while to get back into the groove of things.
And the groove of things, we've already entered 2026. It's February, and it just feels like time is going by very quickly. I mean, been a brilliant start to the year, hasn't it, for you, Ishy? You've been recently awarded an MBE. How does that feel?
Oh wow, yeah, that was a complete surprise and a bolt out of the blue. It I am quite sure how it feels yet, Shemiza. Bit weird. I'm not used to it. I'm a bit. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it. Actually, I'm incredibly gratified and humbled to start with. It's such a wonderful honor, to have your work recognized like that. So that part of it was really good. I'm a bit embarrassed. I don't really know what to say when people say lovely things, and they have been saying incredible things since it was announced. So I've been getting wonderful messages and bumping people who are saying lovely things. And then I suppose with something like this, there also comes a bit of a responsibility that the work that I've been doing has been recognized, and how can I then use this amazing honor to carry on doing the things that I do, and how it can aid and abet me in achieving those goals. So yeah, it's wonderful. I came back from Pakistan, as you do. I was there for 6 weeks. So when I got back, there was a huge pile of letters that needed my attention, and in amongst them was a fat one. And I was like, oh God, I've probably been caught speeding on the A19, our local road. So I didn't open the letter for 3 days. I was like, oh. And eventually I thought, well, whatever it is, it needs dealing with, doesn't it? So just open the letter, see what they want. And I was delightfully surprised, blown away actually, that I opened this letter and it said, in the strictest confidence, we're so pleased to inform you that you have been awarded an MBE. And it was in the strictest confidence, so I didn't really know who to tell either. And yeah, that was a weird old day. Was a bit discombobulated and sort of really wondering, oh God, what should I do? But we got past that, and I'm just sort of settling into it now. I feel a bit embarrassed sometimes, actually, when people talk about the MBE, but it is. I have got it. It is what it is.
It is what it is, and congratulations from myself and many of your amazing friends and followers of your work, and you have an amazing legacy. So it's an absolute credit to everything that you do and everything that you continue to do. And what's wonderful is, for anybody who's not familiar with Ishy, he's super humble and very giving. And I just want to go back to your humble beginnings before you began your writing, what you were doing prior to this journey of writing.
Yeah, it's been an incredible journey when I look back. So I was brought up in Middlesbrough, which is not too dissimilar to Luton, actually. Heavy industry. We had steelworks. I believe Luton, it was the motor industry, but we had lots of steelworks, lots of chemical works, and various other heavy industries on Teesside. It was a small Asian community, not particularly large. And I left school in 1985, which sort of gives away how old I am. And for those of us who can remember, Margaret Thatcher had brought in this new national economic plan, and we, as a nation, were moving away from heavy industry and going into service industries and stuff like that. So when I left school, that traditional path into the local steelworks, into local heavy industry, to start work there had disappeared, and there was mass unemployment on Teesside. The steelworks, I think, went from something like 30,000 people working there to just a couple of thousand. So it was a terrible time to be joining the jobs market, but I had a plan. I was a young brown man, and what we do is we open businesses, we make loads of money, and we buy ourselves a Mercedes, and we buy next door's house, and we crack on with life. So I set off on this journey. It turns out that I'm a really rubbish businessman. So I got into this sort of cycle of opening a business, failing miserably at it, accruing loads of debts, going off working in various industries, lots of cab driving, retail, warehousing. I sold double glazing. I did just about every job under the sun in between, thinking, right, the next business is the one that's gonna make it for me. And obviously I didn't have those tools at the time. So I would inevitably end up sort of going bust again and failing a business. So I kept going at it, and it was I think my longest stint as a cab driver. So my last attempt at business failed. I went onto the cabs. I'd been driving a cab for a few years, and I was getting quite anxious. I was thinking, is this it? Is this my future now? Am I going to be a cab driver? Not that there's anything wrong with being a cab driver, but I just wanted more. So it was quite an anxious time for me, I think, around about that. I had a young family. I'd got married. I had 2 daughters. I was thinking of their futures and what I could do for them, and perhaps how I'd maybe failed them as a father. I know that's not true, but you can't help how you feel, can you? And yeah, I was driving my cab, and we just bought a computer, the first one for the a PC for the Din household, and I used to resent the fact that it sat there. My young daughters would come home from school. They were 6 and 7, I think, at the time, and we would play on they would play on the computer for a little while, or use it for a little while, get a bath, go to bed. And this machine just sat in the corner, and I used to resent the fact that I'd spent all this money on it, and I was getting hardly any use out of it. And I was working one evening, and I heard an advert on Radio 5 Live, and it was looking for radio plays with a sporting theme. And I thought, I know what I'll do. I'll use that newfangled machine that I've just bought to enter this competition. And it wasn't really about me wanting to be a writer, because experience sort of told me that, brown working class men from the Northeast don't become writers. That's what other people do over there who've been to important universities and have massive brains. So that thought of being a writer had never occurred to me. But this competition came along, and it was serendipitous, kismet, call it what you like, that I was working that night, and I heard the advert, and I thought, I know what I'll do. I will enter this competition. So I wrote a short radio play about 2 young Pakistani kids who go to Middlesbrough to watch the Borough play for the first time. And it was part biographical of my own sort of experience of going to watch Middlesbrough play football. And I think instinctively I knew that wasn't going to be enough, and I had to put some twists and turns in it. So these 2 young Pakistani kids go on this adventure, and I printed it off and posted it to the BBC, so you can imagine how long ago it was. And I sent this thing off to the BBC thinking somebody's going to read this and think, what a git, and put it in a bin. But they called me about 4 weeks later, and said, we love that piece that you sent in. And I think there was something like 1,500 entries. And out of the 1,500, they made 10, and mine was one of the 10 that were made. And it was that moment, that success, that made me think, well, what if this is the thing I'm meant to do? What if this is how I can earn a living? more than anything sort of the impact of my writing could have. It was just about keeping your head above water, keeping the wolves from the doors, whilst doing something that you were really proud of and you really loved. And that really, that winning that competition really set me off on a journey then, and which I've been on for the next, nearly 20 years now.
What a phenomenal story in itself. The fact that you took a chance, and that chance has, the fruitation, it's just developed and progressed since then. Were you good at English GCSE at school? I mean, the fact that you from 1500 got selected as one of the 10 writers, you must have had a good knack at writing at school.
I had a good... yeah, I was okay. My school reports were always about could do better, so I was a bit of a clown and didn't really give it my best efforts and stuff like that. But I was interested. As a family, we used to watch lots of films together, watch TV together, listen to music, read, and I was interested in drama. I was in school plays and things like this. I wasn't an A grade student, but I wasn't completely useless as well. But I think that paid off because I sort of instinctively knew what I liked and how a story should unfold, and I sort of understood it needs a few twists and turns. And yeah, I think I did have an aptitude for it. I always sort of think of it like professional footballers. We all play football. Well, not all of us, but as a young man, I played hours and hours and hours of football, right up to the point where my joints and my knees sort of gave up on me and said, you can't do that anymore. But nobody asked me to come and play for them professionally, or nobody paid me to do it. It was just pure pleasure. And I think that you find that vast swathes of young men play football, but some have an aptitude for it who tend to go on. So I do think I have an aptitude for it, which is sort of, with hindsight. At the time, I just thought, I'll tell the story. Seems like the right way to tell it. These seems like the right twists and turns for it. So I do now sort of recognize that perhaps I did have an aptitude for it. At the time, it really didn't occur to me.
Your work, it often feels rooted in lived experiences. So how much of your writing comes from observation versus like personal history?
I think it sort of happens in two ways, Shemiza, that all writers, I feel, do tap into their lived experience. There are certain things, certain emotions, certain aspects of our life that are universal. So, for example, grief. If we just sort of pick a random one, grief. We all understand grief, don't we? We've all experienced it in one form or another. So when it comes to writing, even if you are writing about, I don't know, Muslim soldiers in the First World War, if that is one of the themes, you tap into your own personal lived experience of that thing, and then try and imbue your characters with that experience. So a lot of it comes from there. I was quite lucky. I was sort of a working class Pakistani Muslim from the northeast. So my world, the world that I'd grown up in, the world that I'd sort of experienced, wasn't one that we often see on stage and screen. So it felt like the right thing to do write about my own experiences and my world and the life that I lived and the world around me. It just felt like I had to do less research. I sort of knew that world intimately. So a lot of my work still to this day is sort of couched in that world. I just find it the one that I can be most sure about and most absolute about. I have written about other things as well, like I said, Muslim soldiers in the First World War, the Mughal Empire and stuff like this. But all of it does, I suppose, come from a point of lived experience.
Absolutely. Folks, if you've tuned into the show, you are listening to the Urban Kube with me, Shemiza. The time is 10:20 and I am joined by no other than the wonderful Ishy Din, who is a playwright and screenwriter whose work spans across theatre, television, film and radio. Ishy is with me all the way up to 11 o'clock this morning. If you've got any questions, feel free to throw them over and I'm sure he'll be happy to answer them. Ishy, it's been tremendous having you on the show, especially with so many credits to your work. You're presently doing some work with Royal Court Theatre. What is that you're doing there? And there's also an exciting project that you're doing at Soho Theatre as well with upcoming Pakistani writers.
Yeah, so with the Royal Court, I was incredibly sort of proud and grateful that just sort of for context, the Royal Court is a new writing theatre. It puts on plays that didn't exist before. It has a huge reputation. I think it's one of the premier new writing theatres in the world. It has a massive legacy of finding, producing groundbreaking work, discovering new writers, really pushing the envelope as far as new writing goes. And they had a change of management a few years ago, and David Byrne, the new artistic director, wanted to have at the center of the organization writers. So he created the associate playwrights, which was, I think there's 8 of us, playwrights from up and down the country, different lived experiences, different styles of writing, different ways of looking at plays, different sensibilities to what they think a play should do and can do, and brought us all together to not only interrogate the type of work that the Royal Court was producing, but also talk about how the theatre can have a larger impact across the writing community and bring what, you know, felt like quite a disenchanted world of writers back into the fold and really be of use to them. So I was incredibly gratified when I applied and was successful in becoming one of those associates. So over the last sort of couple of years, 18 months, I've read lots and lots of plays from lots and lots of different writers. Not enough South Asian or Muslim writers, I must add. So for those of you out there who fancy having a go, do go for it. I very rarely come across scripts from South Asian writers or Muslim writers, and we sort of really discuss and interrogate those plays that could potentially be on the Royal Court stage. We also go out, and me personally, because I'm from the north, go and advocate for the Royal Court, encourage people to send in their plays, encourage people to sign up for the Royal Court Writers Card, which comes with lots of benefits and lots of schemes and tips and stuff about writing. So I do that. We go out and do workshops with young people. If there's any young people listening, we have this amazing annual Young Playwrights Award, which is open to everybody in the country, and we are looking for young people up to the age of 18 to send in their wonderful work, so that it can, if it is successful, be on the Royal Court stage, which in itself is huge. I do all of that sort of stuff for the Royal Court, and then running alongside for the last sort of few months.
We are heading to a break, Ishy. Ishy, we're going to head to a break, and we'll carry this conversation, which is so rich and inspiring. Come back and
I can tell you about my fantastic stuff.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Brilliant. Straight after the break. Assalamu alaikum.
This program will continue after the break. Continue listening to Inspire FM. Inspire FM.
Inspire 105.1 FM.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Ajmal Masroor. I'm from the Barefoot Institute. Please continue listening to Inspire FM on 105.1 FM.
Why do Tops Pizza deliver the top pizzas in Luton? For a start, all the toppings are 100% halal, and Tops use fresh dough every day. Then there's the cheese, the highest quality available. And when it comes to food preparation, cleanliness is taken as part of our faith. So that just leaves the taste, choice, and great offers, including buy one, get one free on all medium, large, and extra large pizzas. Tops Pizzas, Wellington Street, LU1 5AA. Order online, topspizza.com, or via Just Eat. Download our app or call 01582 72 5000.
Legrave Heating Supplies. With over 20 years of experience, we're the largest independent plumbers merchant in the area, specialising in all types of plumbing and heating, as well as combination boilers and megaflow cylinders. Whether you need a new bathroom or a complete new heating system, LHS is the place. Come along to our brand new bathroom showroom at Unit 1, 3 Chorlend Lane, Luton, to see the latest range of quality bathrooms. Or log on to legrave.net. We're an Interpart-approved stockist for all genuine spares. Our new store in Bedford is now also fully opened. Legrave Heating Supplies. Call Luton 84 86 88.
How likely is she to, have another heart attack?
Can I still go to the gym after heart surgery?
Is my mum still my mum if she has a new heart?
When it comes to heart health, no question is too big or small. That's why British Heart Foundation have dedicated cardiac nurses you can speak to by phone, email, or online chat.
Hi, this is Chloe from British Heart Foundation. How can I help?
Search BHF Questions.
Celebrate in style at the Grand Royale, Luton's premier banqueting hall, offering elegance, luxury and seamless event planning. Host up to 750 guests with top-tier catering, stunning decor, photography, videography, hair and makeup, DJ, dance floor and expert event management, all under one roof. Whether it's a wedding, birthday or corporate event, let's witness the happy family moments together. Call 01582 551913 or visit grandroyale.co.uk today.
Hey Sainsbury's, have you got the ingredients I need for Ramadan?
Sure. What about this tin of EE pure butter ghee for £5.50 with nectar?
Ah, that's exactly what I'm looking for.
There's also 10 kilograms of Layla basmati rice, just £12 with nectar.
Fantastic. That's plenty to go around.
Save on essentials for Ramadan. Sainsbury's, good food for all of us.
18 plus, nectar required. Available in supermarkets and online, excluding locals. Standard delivery from £1, subject to availability. T's and C's apply. Ali
is one of those children who, with your assistance, has the honour of being a Hafiz. And that too from only £29 per month. Help UKIM by sponsoring a Hafiz and get rewarded by up to 70 times blessings. For donations, call now or visit ukim.org.
Did you know that Adam, peace be upon him, was approximately 30 zero tall? 0 is a measurement and 1 0 is approximately half a meter.
From the studios of Inspire FM, the time is now 10:30.
Catch a creative vibe on the Urban Kube with sister Shemiza.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, and assalamu alaikum. It is 10:30, 2nd of February, and you're listening to me, Shemiza, on where else? On Inspire FM 105.1 FM. It's an absolute pleasure to be in your company this morning, so thank you for staying with us and with me on the Urban Kube show. I'm joined by an absolutely wonderful guest who I've had absolute pleasure speaking to. They're still with me all the way to the second half of the show, and I am joined by no other than the absolutely brilliant Ishy Din MBE, may I add, who's a playwright and screenwriter whose work spans across theatre, television, film, and radio. And he joins me this morning. Ishy, you will need to unmute before you speak to me. And so assalamu alaikum, Ishy. So Ishy has to unmute the screen. So if you could unmute, that'd be great. He's done that. So yay, I can hear you. Wonderful.
All those awards and all those plays and all of that, and I can't unmute my computer. So really, what's it worth, Shemiza? I ask you. Naught. It's worth naught if I can't even unmute.
But do you know what makes? Well, your story began with a PC, did it not? Now I want to ask you, what do you now type your wonderful plays on? Have you upgraded? Does that PC still exist? Do we need to put that PC in a museum in Middlesbrough?
No, unfortunately, it doesn't exist. God knows what happened to it. It is kicking about somewhere. I use my laptop, and occasionally I'll use pen and paper, but lots of typing, which I don't like. I hate typing. I hate typing messages. I hate doing emails. I hate sitting and having to type my plays. So lots of my days are filled with exasperation and misery and stuff like that. So yeah.
But I want to ask you, what does a good day of writing look like for you?
That's changed over time. It used to be how many words I can get down onto the page. I think now it's much more about doing. I sort of break it down into bits. So if I can sort of complete a part of it, the bit where X meets Y, this bit or that bit where this happens or that happens, I think it's been a successful day. It's not so much about length, how many words I sort of type. It's more about the quality of what I'm writing these days. So I'm not particularly productive, but I sit and stare at the screen a lot and nip into the living room and have a biscuit and a cup of tea and a quick chat, and I'll come back and I'll do a little bit more. And I'll find excuses not to write, doing admin work and radio interviews and all of these sort of things. So I'm muddled through it, Shemiza, and I'm usually really relieved that it's the end of the day and I can with guilt-free sort of close my laptop and think, okay, well, today's been productive.
Mashallah, but your muddling through has been very effective, and thank you for giving me your time this morning. If it means a bit of a break from the screenwriting, I hope the radio show will inspire more characters maybe into your writing. Where do you write inside, but do you write outdoors? Do you find different spaces to sit and write? Because I sometimes find that's quite inspiring. Being outdoors maybe, and it helps me kind of just think a little bit more clearer.
Yeah, quite early on actually, I was a bit nerdy about writing, and I was watching a video of a very successful screenwriter who had won Oscars and multiple awards and written some of my favorite movies. And he said, you should develop the ability to write anywhere, regardless of your surroundings. You should be able to write. So I do take either my laptop or my iPad or just a notebook I have with me just about everywhere I go, my phone. And whenever I'm sort of inspired or I'm under the caution, there's a deadline looming or there's stuff to do, I can start writing. I quite enjoy writing in cafes. It gives you that nice contrast between being on your own, but then being able to sort of experience the world around you as well. And when my mum was alive, bless her, she was quite old and frail, so we would go to hospital quite a lot. And I have written in waiting rooms, in accident emergency. I've written sat outside the X-ray department at James Cook Hospital. So really, I can write anywhere. And I suppose the least productive is writing at home, because there's so many distractions. Because there's so many other things to do and shelves to put up that you've been putting off for months, and bulbs to change and stuff like that. So I think once I'm out of the house, I've become a bit more productive.
How inspiring. I wanted to go back to our conversation just before the break. You spoke about the Royal Court Theatre and opportunities for potential writers, especially you made a point about not enough South Asian or Muslim writers coming forward. Moving on to my next question. Are you involved in any projects that is actually nurturing South Asian writers of Muslim backgrounds to kind of come forward?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just in the midst of working with this incredible group of writers with Pakistani heritage. So the wonderful British Pakistani Foundation and Soho Theatre are running a scheme for writers with a Pakistani heritage, and we are working on some short pieces with people who are new to writing, people who have had a little bit but just wanted to just build on their craft as writing. It's an amazing project where they are writing about a whole myriad of subjects, and just telling their stories in short monologue or duologue form that will be getting recorded, and you'll be able to sort of hear them on various websites and stuff like that. So keep an eye out for it. So I work on schemes like that, and then I'm also doing work with the Royal Court, and going out and speaking to writing groups and youth groups, particularly up here in the north, about with young people who are interested in writing in whatever form that takes. So I try and keep at least one project going that means I'm working with people who look like me and have my background and have a similar lived experience. I just think, Shemiza, that at the beginning of my journey, so many stars aligned, so many things happened, at the same time, having that computer, working on the cabs, hearing that advert, most importantly, taking that first step to sort of think, oh, well, okay, I'm going to give this a go. So a lot of stars aligned for that to happen, for me to become a writer. And I don't want to leave it to chance for others. So I'm really interested in getting the message out there and getting the word out there and encouraging people to write and to just express themselves. Tell us your story. people might think their stories aren't interesting, but within that, there will be something that resonates with the larger audience. So I do keep running these. I say running. I work on projects that encourage people to write. I think that's really important. And as you said, the current one, really excited about, is the Soho British Pakistani Foundation Writers Lab.
Absolutely, that does sound super exciting, and well done to Soho Theatre building that partnership with the British Pakistani Foundation. Is that what they're called? To make this happen. So I'm really excited about seeing the end result. And how can people find out about this program that you are part of?
Well, you can go to the Soho Theatre website, and there's stuff on there. You can also go to the British Pakistani Foundation website. There'll be stuff on there about the project. We're not quite sure what the future holds, when the next one will be, but I'm sure if enough people encourage them, shall we say, that they will be in mind to perhaps run another one. Perhaps something that's a bit more encompassing, and we can do it on a national scale as well, and get people that are not London based really to come along.
Can I ask, is ageism a barrier for many people who might want to kind of write from the South Asian community? And the reason I say that, there's lots of programs there for 18 to 30-year-olds, but then there are lots of individuals, like, for example, women who the children have grown up and they want to kind of find their space in the world again, and writing might be something they want to venture in, but they feel that they might be too old to go down that pathway.
I would certainly encourage them. I don't think ageism is a factor. I think, the sort of beauty of what we do, what I do, is that it's about the words on the page, as opposed to how old I am, what do I look like, what my background is, my religion, my race. All of those things really go out of the window, because people are reading the word on the page. And if you can make the word on the page have an impact with its reader, I don't think then that your age or your race or your background really comes into it. The words, the work speaks for itself, really. So if there is any brothers and sisters who find themselves in that position that they really want to go give it, I wouldn't worry about how old they are, what their background is and all that. Just tell us a great story. That's what it's all about. Even coming back to the royal court, that's what we look for. We don't really look at who's written it, whether they have letters after their name or whether they've had a long career of hits or successful plays. We look at what's that play about, what's that story that they're telling us, do we like that story, is it well told? Those are the only parameters we use to judge work by. So I would really encourage people, if it's something that they've thought about and have perhaps not pursued it because they think they're too old, or they're the wrong type of person, or they are, writing isn't the thing they are allowed to do. I'd just like to bust those myths. We need stories. We need stories from everybody, particularly in the current climate. We need to let people know how much we have in common and how our stories can resonate with people who perhaps from different backgrounds and of different ages and genders and stuff like this. So definitely don't worry about how old you are and where you're from and who you are and stuff like that.
And another concern or a barrier people may have in their mind is the fact that they don't come from, say, a degree of English literature or a degree in drama, or they've not had those, they're not equipped with those skills to learn about structuring a story. What would you say to anybody who has that concern?
Well, I don't come back. I don't have those things. So there's living proof that it, you know, if you're good at it, it won't. Those things won't hold you back. I'd encourage people to just start writing. You get a feel for it. Just start putting words down on the page. There's lots of beginners guides too. You can YouTube stuff just to get a rough idea of what you want to do. These are just stories. We tell stories all the time to each other. You know, what happened down the shops, what happened at the mosque, what happened on the high street and stuff like that. Just tell us a story. You can find lots of resources on the internet that will give you tips on how to structure and how to set that story out. Come to the Royal Court website. We have lots of tips for new writers and lots of little short YouTube videos that you can watch that will help you just frame how you're going to tell your story. So yeah, I would definitely encourage people to sort of go for it. Like I say, I just started by taking that first step, which was so important, to just give it a go. You have everything to gain and nothing to lose. So I just encourage people to give it a go.
Some great words of advice there, folks. Just give it a go. Coming from Ishy Din. For those of you who've just joined the show, Ishy Din is a playwright, a screenwriter whose work spans across theatre, television, film, and radio. And it's an absolute treat to have him on the show this morning. Ishy, I want to ask you, I mean, you're very unique in the sense that your work crosses so many different mediums. Is there a particular medium that is your firm favourite?
Great question, Shemiza. I love them all. I equally hate them all. So I usually find the one that I hanker for is the one that I'm not doing. So currently I'm working on some plays, and I keep thinking to myself, oh God, I should be writing movies. I should do something for TV. This is terrible, this. But then when I'm writing for TV or writing working on feature projects or something like that, I always say to myself, oh, this is terrible. Why am I doing this? I should be writing for theatre. I should just stick to writing plays and stuff like this. So I don't have, I suppose my favourite is the one that I'm not doing at the time. I always find the one that I'm working on is the one that's making me feel miserable. So I always hanker for the thing that I'm not working at that particular time.
Do you, when you're putting your writing together, do you visualize the actual person that you would like to play I can't even say that word, the main character?
Yeah. Sometimes I will think about a particular actor or a particular or a look for them. I imagine what they look like. I do have a very real sort of sense of what the world looks like, what people are going to see on the stage, on the screen. I have a real sense of that, and then I have a real sense of who that character is. And they usually I've sort of constructed them from people that I've met and people that I know and stuff that I've made up. So it's an amalgamation of different sort of experiences and encounters that I've had, and I've thought, oh yeah, I remember that. I'll make that character slightly like this, or I'll add a bit of this particular character trait to them. I don't necessarily have a particular person in mind. I'm working on a play about a darts team at the moment, one of the things that I'm working on is about a dark stream. For that, I have had lots of sort of northeast based actors that I've sort of pictured and thought, oh yeah, they could really pull that off actually, and tried to write with them in mind. I'm also working on a big play for the Royal Shakespeare Company about the Mughal Empire, and I haven't thought of anybody really. I haven't thought of any actors, or nobody's been in mind whilst I've been writing it. The other thing is, as you get closer to production and as you get through the drafts and you start to write more and more drafts, then those ideas seep into your thinking about, well, who could play this? Who could we cast as this? But I think that comes a bit further down the line. It's certainly, so far, it hasn't worked that I've had somebody in mind and I've wrote towards them or anything like that. Yeah.
What's wonderful is that there is a growing number of young actors or actors of South Asian background. I'm getting to see more and more of in the world of theatre and audio and film, but also the fact that there is more young writers of South Asian backgrounds coming forward as well. Do you think there needs to be more? Do we need more representation?
Absolutely. And I can see, it's a difficult choice. Being in the arts, working in the creative industries is something for the long haul. It's not something that's been traditionally encouraged in our communities. It can be incredibly rewarding. But as you well know, Shemiza, it's a hard graft. It's not an easy undertaking.
Absolutely.
So it's something that it's more of a vocation than just some sort of job or some sort of enterprise that's going to pay you really well. So you really got to do it. But if that's what you want to do, there's something quite satisfying about following your dreams and doing the thing that you want to do. I would certainly encourage people to come and at least have a go, see if it is the thing that was meant, that you were meant to do. And if it is, just follow that dream and go for it. But it's a difficult path, and you really got to be ready to sort of travel that long road that you have to follow for success and for you to get embedded within the industry, I think.
And thank you for being honest about that, because the reality is it is a very competitive industry. It is tough. It's not easy, and you have to be committed to do it. And it always helps to have an additional job whilst you're kind of working towards your dream as well. And I think it's also checking out theatre plays, getting into a habit of seeing what's on the horizon and the landscape to inspire and motivate as well.
Absolutely. If you wanted to be a Michelin-starred chef, you would taste food, all sorts of food, and you'd taste it with a professional palate. You wouldn't just sort of consume it. You would really critique it and see why you liked it and think about why you enjoyed something, what the chef had done it, and what those magic ingredients were that made it stand out against other similar dishes. And I don't want to stress that metaphor too far, but writing's a similar thing. If it's something that you want to do, really, watch everything that you can, listen to everything that you can listen and watch with a professional eye, You already pay your TV license. You already have a TV at home. You can, access swathes of drama just there, but watch it all with a critical eye and go and enjoy art and exhibitions and go to museums and art galleries and long walks and do all of those sort of things that to just help you form your ideas and what you want to do and the stories you want to tell and how you want to tell them. I think it all really helps that. So really do consume art. If you want to be an artist, consume art. Yeah.
Absolutely. Ishy, it's been such a pleasure. It is the end of the show. And thank you so much for giving us your time this morning.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on. Shemiza, that hour has flown by. I think it's been so much time alone that when I get a chance to talk to somebody, I don't know.
Coming up